So you want to invest in Web3 but you don't know what tokens to buy, you can use SwissBorg's thematics instead. They select a collection of the best performing Web3 tokens and rebalance them upon performance. So you don't need to worry about going all in on an absolute steaming turd. Sounds good to me. SwissBorg.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at another uneventful day in crypto then, shall we? So it is Monday, so the start of the week, the very first full week of trading on that amazing ETF. So let's have a think about what this might be. Let's see if we can spin this in any kind of bullish light, to be honest with you. Because to be fair, a bounce is due on Bitcoin. If it's going to happen, I reckon it will happen today, between today and tomorrow, so the next 48 hours. Well, we've got this on this 4-hourly, although the trend is basically breaking now at this point now. So we've been golden crossed all the way back down since, well, since all the way down here at 26,000. So almost doubled in value since that 4-hourly golden cross, and we've broken down from it really now, and then we're getting rejected from it also, which is never a good look. And the 10 exponential is now below that as well, so it's not looking good. And we've got the 20 moving averages going down below it. It's not looking very good, but what we do seem to be forming is bullish divergence. Whether this is enough already to push it up, and again, a push up could take us back up to areas like we stated yesterday, through 44 and 45,000. Again, I'm not looking to play this really, but yeah, I mean, just based on what we see, there is a chance that would happen. But we've got to reclaim moving averages. So because the 4-hourly is now pushed further and further down, the breakout for this would be candle closures on a 4-hourly around 43,400. The MACD is working on making a positive cross way below the 0 point though, so I'm not really in favour of this being again an attractive trade. 12-hourly obviously still I suppose it's still relatively bullish, I suppose, but with a view to come all the way down towards 37 to 38,000, which again, on a horizontal perspective, is absolutely perfectly fine. Same deal over here on the daily. So the daily is now losing or threatening to lose its 50 exponential. We closed below there last night. We're back above there already today. And the resistance again around 44,000. To be fair, that is it really, 44,000. If for whatever reason we close a daily above 44,000, yeah, I reckon we could see another move back up to the top. Really, maybe even a wick higher. But right now, that is all hopium. It's nothing more than hopium, really. And then the same plan stays. Really, the plan stays the same. Just allow for the market to either reset or for it to continue on. I think it's unrealistic to imagine it continuing on for Bitcoin in the short term, but it can happen. Altcoins offering a particularly different setup, I have to say. Although it's going to be vulnerable for Bitcoin to pull back. A perfect world, as perfect as you can ask, given what we're looking at right now, would be that Bitcoin does continue to come down and does actually make its way down towards $37,000 to $38,000, and altcoins also come down, whatever that might be. So if we were to see a drawdown here to 2,140. It's a 15.5% move down for Ethereum, back down to that major support. What would that sort of look like for Bitcoin? Well, for Bitcoin, it would be about 11% to the $37,000 to $38,000 zone. That you can imagine being a real thing. So this being an opportunity to buy the dip on Bitcoin, and educated guess would be that altcoins are also a buy the dip, because for the most part their charts, well, I say they're stronger. Some of them are stronger, not all of them. Ethereum's is okay. Looking to make a rebound. So based on a pullback of between 10 to 15%. We'll be looking for Bitcoin to bounce. A bounce from here can take us up here. It can. I'm not saying that it will. A bounce from here was most likely, if I was to take that trade, I'd be looking to exit more or less about where we are right now. But it would still be a buy the dip. It would be a trade that would be worth waiting for. And obviously Ethereum's is basically the same thing. Now if we lose these areas, all is not lost. We've got golden cross retests for Ethereum basically at 2,000. And one for Bitcoin around 35,000. So much opportunity if we come down lower that it would be rude to not at least try these positions. And again, you can flick across, you know, a variety of different altcoins to see, you know, if any other setups are the same. The reason you would do that is that obviously if Bitcoin bounces and the market bounces and your altcoin of choice has a decent setup, then it will bounce more. So you're basically using that particular altcoin as a trading tool of Bitcoin, really. But yeah, there's plenty of charts out there, I'm sure, that are looking quite good. In fact, Chainlink was having a good day yesterday. There's a few things that were in the green. I think still are in the green, really. Surprisingly, XRP is still in the green. Not that it should really count for too much, but it is. XRP basically working on its Golden Cross retest already and has been for ages. I'm not a big fan of it the way it looks right now, to be fair, but you know, if you're going to try it, you would basically try it from here. But I'm too... it's not that I'm scared. I'm not afraid of the market. I exited the market on purpose so I could buy back lower. But I don't want to buy back 10 or 15% lower. I'd rather buy back 30 to 50% lower, which is obviously, you know, my expectations given a long enough period. That would be the better way. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing a few scalpy trades, but it would still require a bit better of a setup for me. One single drive of bullish divergence on a 4-hourly is not enough for me. I will need a little more than that, although that this could materialize into a further upside. I don't really see the point in it. Allow it to go lower. And if it does, then that's where the opportunities exist. If it does go higher, it's still not a problem. Do not FOMO, because we're not in any way, shape or form ready to make significant highs on Bitcoin. So the peak is still absolutely irrelevant at these levels completely. And that big rejection over there, that's a shooting star. The same deal will always apply on Bitcoin. 44,000. If you close a weekly above 44,000 or above, it will probably be a bearish divergence anyway. Even if it's not a bearish divergence, we've basically got wick bearish divergence. And even if it's not all of that, you don't want to be buying anything really crypto related or otherwise when the money flow index is outside of the comfort zone, especially if it's just been up into the 90s. And if it travels up even further and we get to around 95, absolutely no chance you'll ever get me ever buying anything with a weekly money flow index of that size. So I just foresee this as a similar environment to this. I don't see any real difference, to be honest with you. I'm not saying you could do a fractal and go, this is what's going to happen. What you can do is recognize that they are similar. This was more aggressive, this is more pronounced, this is more constructive, but it's still relatively pronounced. And the only thing that's going to keep us above 37,000, I reckon, at this moment in time, is the talk and the lure moving into the halving in April. That, I think, will stop us from breaking down significantly on Bitcoin between now and April. I think we're going to exist in the upper 30s to maybe even lower 50s. That's where I think we're going to exist in over these next few months. And then once that halving kicks in, the consolidation has basically got the green light. There's one last thing I'll leave you with here, which is still the Dixie, showing relatively, but also not very convincing, strength to the upside, only to get rejected from either the 102, or we'll call it 103, maybe 103.4 or maybe 103.7, which is basically resistances on moving averages, death cross retests, and Bollinger Band tops. So yeah, the Dixie wants a little further upside on this, so that might just keep the prices of Bitcoin and Bitcoin's best friends from actually making any kind of large move until we see a rejection, and then maybe we will see that after that, because this is still a bearish chart on the daily, for instance, and so we should expect a rejection of these levels only to get pushed back down, maybe towards, maybe even forming a double bottom, maybe even going lower. I'm not entirely convinced in either. I'm not willing to make a giant call on the Dixie. I just want to take it day at a time. It's weak bounce now, fading away. Death cross is quite pronounced, and so yes, the best you could hope for would be a move up to any of those areas that is just established, and then a pull back down with a support around 102 to begin with, and see if we can support there or break down from there. It is basically a transition period, excuse me, in the market, and it's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. But as far as my overall trade is concerned, I'm still very much a cash kind of guy right now. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Maybe join the Patreon. Other than that, just take it easy.